For all who feel like they're sailing a small boat across an ocean of injustice, we shine this light. Come, come, it is the light of our faith and the light of our ancestors. Come, come, here find a port from the storm. Come, come, head into a bright and glittering daybreak, a homecoming to a place that holds our community amongst a shared practice of values. Let us rejoice this morning in being together. I invite you to sing with gusto hymn number 20, Be Thou My Vision.
Good morning. My name is Ed Novak, and you can use the pronouns he and him for me. Welcome to All Souls Church Unitarian, where the struggles for human rights, civil rights, and equality have flourished, and where today our spiritual journey inspires us to lift up the dignity of all people and work to protect the vulnerable. Welcome to All Souls Church Unitarian, where all people of all races, national origins, immigration status, creeds, gender identities and expressions, sexual orientations, ages, and abilities, where all people are welcome at the table of love and fellowship. If you're visiting us for the first time, or if you're still feeling new here, maybe you could raise your hand or let the folks know in the Zoom chat so that we can give you an All Souls welcome. Are there visitors? We're so glad you're here. If you need to step out of the sanctuary for any reason, the service is being broadcast in Pierce Hall and Reeb Lobby. After the service, please feel free to stay for conversation and refreshments. And if you're among the 100 or so connected souls on Zoom, you can stay online afterwards for a moderated conversation. In your order of service or in the chat on Zoom, you'll find a connection card. This is more than just a form. It's an invitation. If you're looking for ways to get involved, seeking support, or just want to stay in touch, fill it out, drop it in the collection plate later in the service. If you want to stay on top of what's really going on at All Souls, you can subscribe to our weekly email newsletter. Our headlines will not shock, offend, or infuriate you. But they may inspire you to look at your calendar and say, yeah, I think I can do some gardening on the morning of July 12th. Or perhaps go to the celebration of civic service later that afternoon. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button on our website. All this exquisitely curated content is free. Let us pause now to recognize that All Souls Church sits on land that belonged to the indigenous people of the Piscataway tribe, and that our congregation to this very day still benefits from the labor of enslaved Black Americans. Our commitments to the beloved community and our eighth principle set an intention for us to recognize and educate ourselves about the injustices that took place right here, act wherever to repair harm, and refuse to let the powers that be whitewash, delete, or ignore the histories of these peoples. In our world, there are many forces seeking to sow confusion and chaos in order to divide us. Let's take this time to Yes, that was Fred Katz. Let's take this time to intentionally covenant together, to give voice to what draws us together, and to renew the values to which we pledge ourselves. Please rise in body or spirit to recite together our Sunday covenant. Love is the spirit of our people, and service is our call. To build the beloved community, to seek forward truth in love, to dwell together in peace, to offer aid and affirmation, and to tend to our mutual well-being. That is our covenant. Please remain standing. Now is our time to greet one another. If you're on Zoom, we invite you to go to Gallery View, turn on your video, and give everyone a wave. We can wave back. In the sanctuary, feel free to get up and move around as you're comfortable. When you hear the bells toll, you are welcome to return to the pews.
I'm going to invite my young friends to come forward for Time for All Ages. And as you're coming up, I'm going to sing a little song, right? Because we're going to come sit on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, come on, all souls hit the floor. We're happy that you're here today. Hooray, hooray, hooray. My son Benjamin taught me that song. All right, this is our Wonder Box. It helps remind us that we are a people of wonder, curiosity, who embrace mystery and don't want to keep it in a box. So let's see what is in our box today. Is there someone who hasn't opened the Wonder Box yet who would like to? Friend, would you like to come forward? What is your name? What is your name? Kaylee? Caroline. Wonderful. Come on up. Open up the box. Yeah. And pull out what's inside. Do you know what that is? Any friend want to help Caroline out? What is it, friends? It's a Russian nesting doll, says my daughter. So it's a Russian nesting doll. And these nesting dolls, they have, we'll see why they're called nesting dolls in a minute, but they come in different shapes and have different outsides. And this one kind of has like a little house with a steeple on it, with lots of faces and a rainbow around it. What does this remind me of? What does this remind you of? Oh. Pride flag. What about the people? Are there people's faces on a pride flag? It is our church. Very good. So this actually reminds me, a couple of weeks ago, when we were doing the coming of age service and the Time for All Ages, I invited everyone to fill out on the connection card, what do they have faith in? In what do they place their utmost confidence? And I was reading the beautiful answers that so many people put out, and I thought, I should share that too. What do we have faith in? What do we know as true? And often, hold on, now I'm going to go into story time for a little bit. So I would say the word faith often is about a faith community like ours, a house of faith. And when I started to go to my childhood church, also called All Souls, I went with my mother and my grandmother, and now I come with my kids. And so I've always known it to be a place where my family is. But my family hasn't been just the people I was related to. It's a church family. People who were there, I could take their hand, or we could sing together, who would notice when I was happy or I was sad. So it was about all the people who made such a big difference in my life, the people who were in the RE community, the people who led music. And so for a long time, I thought, I have faith in community. Yes, Ben? Yes. I have to say, Benjamin's connection card was my favorite because he was very confident that he would love us getting a dog. Now, here's the thing about nesting dolls. It's not just one thing. I didn't get the other one out of my bag. Sadie, can you run to my office as fast as you can? Oops. This is when we sing the Jeopardy theme song. So all this to say is they open, and inside you discover more things. So I will line these up. Yeah, let's talk for a moment. That's what I thought was going to happen. We were going to open it up and find more. Okay. Okay, actually, you could pass that around for a moment. So if this had worked right, inside I would have found this. And this has chalices and little rainbow UUs because one of the things that I recognized was that when I left that childhood church, I didn't know what would be there for me until I found another UU church. And actually, many people here have belonged to more UU churches, Unitarian Universalist churches, than this one. And so I just want to say there is a broader community than just this one church, and we continue to be held by our faith. And I began to think of myself not just as a member of All Souls, but as a Unitarian Universalist. Then I open up this one. We could pass these around. And inside, what does this look like to you? Trees? A forest with pond and flowers? Mm-hmm. A beach? Yes. So this is the beauty of the earth. Because I recognize that even if I wasn't a Unitarian Universalist, I would still belong to something even greater. This sacred, beautiful earth that I know as the only home for beloved community. Beloved community always exists on this home, and underneath its trees, I find shelter. In its skies, I find vision. And on its dirt, I find grounding. But there's more. And I'd say, even though sometimes nature gives me all that I need to find peace in my spirit on hard days, I could tell that there's something else. When I'm alone in my room, there is something that bursts through the walls and calls me out, and it's love. It brings me forth, and it holds me. And one of our Universalist promises is that there is a presence of love in the world that loves all of us and loves you and you and you and you and you and all of us yous individually. We're all so special, and we're meant to shine that love back. But even at times when it's hard to feel or know that love, there's something else. Ironically, it's the littlest one, but it's the starry universe. Because fundamentally, even at times when I am not feeling hopeful or optimistic, there is still this greater existence that puts my concerns, that helps me recognize that my concerns shrink in comparison to all there is, all that was, and all there would be. And we come from and are part of this great story. And so I love to remember that whether I find it amongst the faces around us or the starry heavens or any place in between, that there is something that we can have faith in. So I invite you to think about that even in times of change, and how we as Unitarian Universalists can remind ourselves what these are. I'm going to put them up here so you could come and look at them later. But I also share that we're doing something else special today. And so I want to invite Tracy to come up and join me. And you guys get to stay right where you are, because this is a special, we want you to be able to get front row seats to this too.
Up, please. Lori, I understand Lori's here. There you are. And Maddie, I think, is on her way, but hopefully she can join us in time. So everyone, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tracy Hughes. I serve as the executive director here at All Souls. And quite honestly, today is a bittersweet day. Because today we must bid goodbye to our dear beloveds, David and Lori and Madeline and Solomon, who could not be here today. So I've written a few things for each of you, and I hope that you will accept it in the love in which it is intended. David, you are the kind soul who greets everyone so warmly when they walk through the doors of this church. Yes. You go above and beyond for any person who asks you to. I will miss you. This church will miss you beyond measure. Lori, dearest Lori, we worked together for just over a year, and wow, how important you have been to the success of our fundraising this year. You have put systems in place that have made all of our lives easier as your colleagues and made All Souls a more welcoming place. Your heart is as big as they come. So you all, yes. Thank you, Lori, for standing up for what is right. You speak truth to power, and I can tell you I heard every single word. Madeline, when you arrive, but I'll say these words to each of you, these are what I've written for her. Maddie, you were bold, you were courageous and wise in ways that belie your years. You have grown up at All Souls. Maddie started working at this church at the age of 14. You are forever a part of this place. And Solomon, true to form, Solomon does not like coming to meetings or attending anywhere in person. But Solomon, if you're listening today, I am sorry that you can't be here for me to thank you in person. Solomon works day and night taking every call about doors that won't lock, alarms that won't stop blaring, messes that must be cleaned, and complaints about hot air in the summer and cool air in the winter in this 100-plus-year-old building. Solomon, thank you for always being so gracious, even when you didn't have to be. And to you, the congregation, one of the best things about working at this church is that our staff treat each other like family. We love each other and have taken care of one another. Every single person we must say goodbye to today will be missed in so many ways. Thank you to all of you for your dedication to this congregation and to your colleagues.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is David Lindsay. I've been here for 20 years, and I call this church my second home. But I would like to read some things that are written down. To members and pastors, executive directors, board members, thank you all for the 20 years we together at this church. Thank you. On the behalf of my fellow co-worker, I enjoy working with you. Each and every one, thank you for the time we work together. I look at as if we are as one family. I use the terms and say, also church is my second home. For the 20 years I have been here at the church, I have never encountered any changes like this before. But as a quote from the Bible says, there is a season and a time for everything under the sun. So I'll say, God grant me the serenity to accept. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And most of all, to each and every one contribute to the GoFund. I very much appreciate. Thank you for recognizing me. God bless us all, also our friends and family. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Good morning. My name is Lori Stone. I use they and them pronouns. I am your outgoing manager of member engagement and communications. It has been a privilege to get to know you, worship alongside you, work on committees together, help people remember where hope is when hope is hard to find. We did that on the stewardship team multiple times. I hope that sunny days are ahead for this congregation. And for all of you. And I want to thank you all as well, as David did, for the fundraisers. And I just want to let everyone know that I plan to donate any share that came to me to David. This is a sign of equity for me. David is very vulnerable right now financially. We've talked about it. David was very kind and willing to talk to me in detail. And I know that he needs more than is there right now, even though he's got a lot. And I just want to make sure that he gets as much as he can possibly get to help him with this transition. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you all so much for being a part of my growth. I started working here at 14, and I feel like so many of you have touched my life and growth in my process. It felt like home every time I came, and it's a new chapter, and I don't think it's something to be sad about. I think that in growth, there's always change. Which is what you all taught me. Our congregation and our really good representatives here, like Tracy, our ministers. I want to say thank you for always shedding a smile when things are very difficult and uncertain, and I've seen this church go through so much transition. And there was always some type of compassion there. There was always some type of, maybe little or big, it's worth giving a thank you to you all for. And I'm very happy about this change, because with growth, there's change. So I've touched a lot of lives here. I think we all have, and you all have touched many of our patterns to grow, and I'll break them. And I wish you all the same. And I'm very grateful for having worked here and indulging with, all of the kids that I now see are so grown up. But thank you all so much. It's so much gratitude, more than anything. And I'm happy to see everyone that showed up, and I'm happy to see my fellow coworkers and family. But I'm very nervous, so I'm sorry about that. Thank you. That's all I can really say is thank you. And that I'm happy for this growth, and I'm happy for you all as well. So,
Thank you, Maddie. So we have one more statement through Laura. Solomon has sent word to us this morning.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Prophet. I'm the DRE here at All Souls. Okay, sorry. And I have a message for Solomon. He sent it to me last night. For y'all. It's been a wonderful 17 years working at All Souls. I've had the pleasure of getting to know many of you and have always appreciated the warm greetings at every encounter. I'm truly grateful to everyone who took the time to email me and wish me well. Your kind words mean so much. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working alongside a deeply dedicated staff and inspiring ministers like Rob, Susan, and the ever-gracious Bill. I'm especially thankful for my immediate supervisors who led by example and made it a joy to come to work every day. I've also been fortunate to collaborate with wonderful members like Susie, Chuck, and the devoted archive volunteers who help make All Souls such a welcoming and special place. Now it's time for me to say goodbye and thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person to express this.
We have just a small token, a gift to each of you. We have flowers for you. So David, I picked out the largest one for you with the eucalyptus because I know how much you love eucalyptus.
Thank you.
I love you, David.
Love you too, Tracy. Always.
Lori, these flowers are for you. And Maddie, these made me smile, so they reminded me of you. Thank you.
I'm going to invite you right up front with our kiddos. Ben, tuck in your legs. And I'm going to invite my friends and the Solidarity Singers to come up and make a little horseshoe around us. And while they're doing that, I want to draw your attention to that there's still opportunities to give to the GoFundMe campaigns for each of our staff and our staff collectively. Please support them as you are able and willing and interested during this time of transition. The links are in our e-news as well as linked through our order of service. Beloved staff, colleagues, you have blessed us in many ways during your time with us, and we'd like to offer you a blessing at this time. A blessing offered in gratitude, a blessing offered in recognition, a blessing to strengthen you in this goodbye. It is a sung blessing led by our Solidarity Singers. I invite all in our congregation to participate in this act of blessing by singing along, by adding your spirit of blessing, by holding up your hands to join us. Wide open. May this blessing and may this love stay with you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, each and every one. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm going to invite our children to leave this area first, either heading back with their parents or following Miss Laura out to their classrooms as we sing Sia Hamba. Have fun. No. Or we'll just walk back. That's good.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you. You may want to pull out your connection card for this portion of our service this morning. I have just a few announcements for us. Thank you to those of you who signed up to participate in today's listening circles on the topic of Israel-Palestine. We had hoped for a larger group of participants, but we realized that church attendance is lower in the summer. And for that reason, we have decided to postpone the event. After the service, please consider stopping by the Souls for Palestine table to learn more about the 21-day challenge, which is a chance for us to deepen our knowledge about the history, culture, and struggle of the Palestinian people with asynchronous learning and virtual check-ins. The 21-day challenge starts with a Zoom kickoff. It started on, this says, I think July 7th. Sign up on the calendar online or at the All Souls for Palestine table. On Saturday, July 12th, there will be a special service to celebrate federal workers, contractors, and partner organizations. We will grieve what has been dismantled and celebrate our civil servants who remain steadfast in their service. Reverend Anastasi would also appreciate volunteers to organize a post-service reception, and you can go online for that and other volunteer opportunities. Starting July 1, we will have a smaller staff to support the functions of our church. If you have been looking for a way to get involved and have some time to volunteer, we invite you into this new way of being in shared ministry with one another. As I mentioned, there is a volunteer page on the All Souls website. Go there, check it out, sign up for whatever makes your heart sing. Join us on July 24th for this online class of Exploring UU to get your questions answered about Unitarian Universalism. This class, along with Path to Membership, satisfies the requirement for becoming a member here at All Souls. So the good thing is, my daughter is a great fan of Hamilton, so bear with me. Don't throw away your shot. Yes, it's a Hamilton tease, by the way, to entice you to come to church in July to hear what will be a fantastic Hamilton-themed preaching series. There were no joys or concerns shared with us ahead of today's service. So I invite you to lift up aloud in the chat or in the sacred silence of your heart the people, places, or causes that you carry with you today. Will you pray with me? I offer to you today a prayer by Reverend Rebecca Savage. It's called, May We Be the Blessings. Spirit of life, eternal beloved of mystery and grace, receive our prayer. We come before that which is greater than ourselves in gratitude for the fullness of our lives, for the anguish and grief that inform our mission to side with love again and again, for the suffering and the disenfranchisement of our people that foment our passion for justice and wholeness, for complex lives, for hard lives, for real, full, and overwhelmed lives. We give thanks for the blessings that we have been given. The reassurance of community, the steady warmth of hope, and the unwavering faith that there will be better days. We give thanks and seek your grace today. Spirit of love, come alongside with all the holy nudges that we need so that we may live in such a way that we celebrate all the blessings that we have been given, so that we may be the blessings in the world. Amen.
Amen. Good morning. I'm Reverend Anastasia Zinke. I serve All Souls as its developmental minister, and I use she and her pronouns. Last week, more than 3,279 Unitarian Universalists from 592 congregations located in the District of Columbia, in 48 states and 4 countries, including France, Canada, Mexico, and the Virgin Islands, participated in our Unitarian Universalist Association's General Assembly. Of these, there were 2,483 attendees online, so about 800 virtually, and 143 children attended as well, including my own. Of these, nearly 40 registered attendees were from All Souls, and this morning you get to hear 3 of them share back about their reflections from General Assembly. And I want to share that just as our General Assembly was both in person and virtual, so is All Souls, and so will these reflections be. And before I start those, I just want to say, as you will clearly notice, young souls are in the house.
Hello, my name is Owen Fitzgerald, and I use he and him pronouns. As you use, I am sure many of us are familiar with others' jokes and our own self-effacement about our faith and theology, or, as these jests would have you believe, lack thereof. There is, of course, some truth to the idea that a movement that calls itself a religion yet eschews traditional creeds falls into a somewhat unique category. However, after attending General Assembly and being in community with church leaders and members, with younger and older adults, and with many of my fellow All Souls and Young Souls members, and with the countless acronyms and suborganizations within Unitarian Universalism designed to move our faith forward thoughtfully, I have a new appreciation for the legitimacy and potential of our faith. While I certainly have been an active UU before GA, GA opened my mind to the strength of the philosophical foundations of our movement. There are esteemed professors of Unitarian Universalist theology at prestigious academic institutions. There are countless books and articles published either about our faith or by the Unitarian Universalist Association's publishing arms in deep alignment with our values. There's a century-long lecture series at General Assemblies that has deeply influenced and shaped our theologies, with speakers including Reinhold Niebuhr, Kurt Vonnegut, Mary Oliver, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There's even a book called Love at the Center, Unitarian Universalist Theologies, edited by our own president, the Reverend Dr. Sofia Betancourt. While I had long understood UU theology and beliefs to be, in many ways, a rejection of traditional creeds and beliefs that centered on divinity, I now believe that UU theology is theology and rightly deserves its place in the pantheon of theologies. If theology truly is about studying what is divine, and if we find the love at the center of our faith to be, to paraphrase the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an overflowing love, what theologians would call divine love working in the lives of all people, then what is more theological than the study of this love? Our faith's focus on social justice, on building beloved community, and on respecting each and every person's inherent worth and dignity is rightfully called theology. It is a theology that includes all and shuns none, and it is good news to share. If theologians do theology in order to expand the understanding of what is divine, in other words, what is the highest and most precious of things, then it is by definition worth sharing. Theology is a bold act, a radical act, and, as our living tradition demonstrates, an ongoing and transformative act. In my opinion, we'll know when we're done with theology, when everyone moves within this divine love, and when it moves within everyone. Which is to say, this could take a while. Within this understanding of theology, I know that I myself have a lot of theology to do. But I can say this. Going into GA, I considered myself a religious person, but leaving it, I now also consider myself a person of faith.
everyone. My name is Kate, and I use she, her pronouns. This was my third GA, but it was my first one going for the full week in person. I was looking forward to it, but I did not anticipate that it would be so fulfilling for me. I left feeling re-energized and inspired. Through a variety of worships and workshops, I learned about many ways to expand our worship through music and dance, and new and innovative ways to do church. One morning, I went to Worship in Motion with the Paint Branch UUC Chalice dancers from Hyattsville. We did simple dance moves to hymns, and in groups came up with moves for different lines of I Know This Rose Will Open. Lastly, we held onto the shoulder of the person in front of us and walked to the beat as we streamed out in a line, creating a circle. At the pagan worship the following morning, we did a similar ritual, singing in a line and creating a spiral. During closing worship on Sunday, which I highly recommend you go and watch online, it was much better in person, obviously, but I highly recommend. At this worship, there was a dancer who was twirling flags full of emotion. And in the last song, the dancer passed out their flags to different dancing community members, which created colorful, beautiful butterflies amongst the crowd. Getting up and moving our bodies to the music while singing together was not only fun and dynamic, but a centering experience, filling my spirit. GA has fantastic music and worship throughout. Another exciting and moving experience was a hymnal sing-along with songs from the new virtual hymnal, Sing Out Love. It is new songs and hymns with more new songs to be added by the end of the year, and then 5 new hymns every month afterwards. This virtual hymnal brings in singer-songwriters from across our faith, some publishing for the first time, and it can involve bringing music to meet our present moment. Expanding worship is not only through song and dance, though. Workshops shared about new and innovative ways to do church and worship, like Disrupt Church with the Community Church of New York, and Innovative Worship with the UU Church of Annapolis. Quote, disrupting church is all about reimagining. It's about letting go of what we think we know about what church is and breaking it open to become what it could be. It's less about going to church and more about living church, being church in the world. It's church without borders. During the workshop, the Community Church of New York shared about the practice of the ministry of yes. This means that when there's an idea, even if there are doubts, something seems unrealistic, or there's the possibility of making mistakes, still say yes and give an idea a try. Disrupt Church also means working to move from consumers to citizens of church, letting go of complaining and expecting to be served, and instead committing to becoming co-creators and collaborators of church. At the final Sunday worship, the preacher, Dr. Nicole Kirk, said, Unitarian Universalism must be both a rallying cry and a refuge. We offer sanctuary for the soul and summons to live our values of love and justice out in the world. She also said, we feed our sparks of the divine, the spirits in our communities, so that we can not only transform ourselves, but then can go out and transform the world. The worship and workshops of GA brought me energy, inspiration, and insight. Through music, dance, and innovation, worship that re-energizes and fulfills our spirits is essential to continue fighting and living out our values and action for justice. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Saul Ujoa, and I use they, he pronouns. This was my second time attending GA in person. after also going in 2016 in Columbus, Ohio. That GA was just a few weeks after the Pulse Massacre in Orlando, Florida, and GA was an immensely healing experience for me back then. And given our current authoritarian turn, this GA was no less healing and important for me. And so 2 moments from the last weekend stayed with me. Together, I think they tell one story. First, there was the Where lecture given by Amara Jones, who's a trans rights activist and journalist. She reminded us that if we, as Unitarian Universalists, truly believe and promote and affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, we have to actually act as if we believe that, with no exceptions. She said, one of the best ways to counteract the role that anti-trans politics is playing in the undermining of democracy is to actually care about trans people. And that hit me really hard, because it's so easy to talk about democracy and freedom in these big, grand, sweeping terms, especially in DC, but Amara cut right to the truth. Care is concrete. It's about showing up, speaking up, checking in, and refusing to let hateful rhetoric go unchallenged. And yet, I left that talk with mixed feelings, because some of the applause during Amara's speech felt really performative. And the very next morning, I overheard a few attendees asking invasive and deeply personal questions of another trans UU. Someone else was repeatedly misgendered directly after Amara's talk. And so it made me wonder, how can we, as Unitarian Universalists, take Amara's reflections truly to heart? How can we be really, fully, and intentionally welcoming of transgender and gender-expansive members of our community? And do we feel comfortable interrupting anti-trans violence, whether that's hateful legislation or someone being misgendered right in front of us? And that's why the Foz lecture from the Reverend Sean Neil Barron, minister at Fort Hills Unitarian in Fort Collins, Colorado, connected so powerfully for me. He gave a speech about the UU theology community organizing. And Reverend Sean talked about how church can happen anywhere, including in a gay bar while wearing a mesh tank top. And they spoke about how trust is built through showing up when it doesn't benefit you, and how, over time, that presence creates real connection. Sean told the story of appearing in their clergy collar at community meetings, vigils, and the local gay bar. And as people in the community got to know him as a new minister in Fort Collins, they'd say, oh, that's Sean. He's from the good church, the gay church, Unity, United, something. And in reflection, Sean said that you can't belong in theory. You can't belong in the abstract. And so belonging has to be embodied in our culture and how we gather, in the ways we dance awkwardly together and help each other when grief overtakes us. And so I'm coming back to All Souls both inspired and challenged. Inspired to keep finding church in unexpected places, inspired by Amara Jones's call to live out our values with courage and consistency, and challenged to build a culture of belonging so big that it's bigger and more powerful than fear. And so my challenge to All Souls, based on these reflections, is for us to be the kind of faith community where no one has to wonder if they actually belong, where our actions match our values, not just in applause, but in real life, and where we feel ready and brave enough to interrupt harm when we see it, and where church might just happen anywhere, even in a gay bar, wearing a mesh tank top, surrounded with drag queens. Thank you.
I'm going to be brief. You're not about to get a sermon. But I wanted to share 2 things from my experience at GA this year. One of the things I reflected on is every time I've gone to General Assembly in the past, I've gone seeking new practices, seeking inspiration, seeking the support of colleagues at a time when I was in grief. In some way, I was always seeking. This year, let me tell you what I found. I found a lot of my colleagues to be deeply burned out. Deeply burned out. Actually, too tired even to talk at first. Now, a lot of them, not entirely unlike me, were parents of young kids, which I think having young kids at General Assembly might be part of it, but it wasn't just that. Ministry in these times is hard. Feeling alone in ministry is even harder. And so what I found as we made long elliptical loops in dark basement lobbies while we pushed a stroller was the difference it made to have someone who showed up for you and who listened and said, "You've got this." The other takeaway that I have kind of connects to that, which is my deep moment of joy at General Assembly. And that was the moment when it was shared that our own beloved Paula Cole-Jones, lifelong member here at All Souls, received the highest honor of our faith, the award for distinguished service to the cause of Unitarian Universalism. I want you to know that we have reached out to Paula and she has accepted the invitation to come in the fall and share more about her work that has led to her being awarded that distinguished honor. But I wanted to share just a little bit about two things from it. One is that the work that she did, the transformative work about building inclusive communities that are worthy of the vision of beloved community, was both grounded in and inspired by her lifelong experience here at All Souls. It actually came about when she got a call from the board inviting her to do some work in shared ministry around diversity, equity, and inclusion here at All Souls, and it became her life's vocation. So she urges us to always accept invitation, because we don't know where it will lead. And I'll share a little bit about where it did lead. Without Paula Cole-Jones, and without her knowing All Souls as her home, we would still only have 7 principles, which would it would imply anti-racism, anti-oppression, beloved community, but never name them outright or ask us to be accountable to them. Without Paula Cole-Jones, we would not now name love being the center of our faith and our people and our theology. Blue, the Black lives of Unitarian Universalism, would not have had her as an ancestor, and their impact on our communities and congregations nationwide would not have been as effective. And leaders such as the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, our UUA president, might have given up hope and not be leading our faith at this moment. So it reminds me of one thing that Paula asked her mother about at a time when she was deeply disappointed, and maybe even was talking about All Souls in particular. And she and her mom were talking, and she said, "Do you think it's time to pull back, step away?" And her mom said, "You never know the impact you will have on another person." So it reminds me that there are wonderful reasons to go to General Assembly, to reach out to one of our sibling congregations, to show up in community near and broad, because we might find what we're needing, but we might also help someone find exactly what they are needing and exactly what our faith is needing. So, beloveds, let us remember that we are not in this faith alone, that we deeply need one another, and let us act like it and be blessed by it. May it be so, and amen.
I now invite you to turn your attention to the reflection question in your connection card. This week, we are inviting you to reflect on the question, what insight from today is inspiring you to connect with our larger faith? As the music that follows plays, you're invited to contemplate and reflect on how you would answer this question. Please fill out both sides of the card. This morning, you have heard from some of our members and staff who attended our General Assembly. Full disclosure, I did not attend. But that won't stop me from weighing in on today's subject. I was raised in a different religious tradition, one that prized a personal relationship to the deity over a communal experience. I sat in the pews on Sunday feeling isolated from the other parishioners. That experience actually led me farther away from God, and for 10 years, I did not attend any organized religious service. Fast forward to now. At All Souls, I have found a community where I feel that I am part of something bigger than myself, and that we are striving together to achieve a vision of our beloved community. And All Souls is part of something bigger too. There are more than 1,000 congregations like ours across this country also striving towards that same vision. Think about that. Being part of something bigger than yourself. I find that remarkably powerful. It brings me closer to the spirit of life, or God, or the force, or whatever it is that ignites, excites, and inspires our souls. That's why I keep coming back to All Souls, and why I contribute to help this community achieve our vision for it. I hope that you can join me. Today we are asking you to consider contributing in two ways. First, during the month of June, we have been sharing 50% of our non-pledge plate offering with Advocates for Trans Equality, a trans-led organization whose policy experts, litigators, and community organizers work at all levels of government to ensure trans voices are not only heard, but embraced in rooms where they've long been ignored. Second, you can also contribute to a GoFundMe campaign to support our beloved departing staff. Information on this GoFundMe campaign can be found in a QR code printed in the bulletin, and of course, through our weekly newsletter. And for those of you on Zoom, through a link in the chat. You can also text your contribution to All Souls by sending ASCU to 73256. This morning's offering will now be taken and gratefully received, and the ushers will also collect your connection card.
Please rise and bow to your spirit and join me in singing our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home. The lyrics will be in your program or up on the screen.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've
Love is at the center of our faith. Love is much more than a feeling. Love acts. Love shows up. Love reaches out. Love takes a stand. Love stays the course. Love expresses care wherever it is warranted. Love changes our lives and changes the world. So let us go with love filling our hearts. Let us go determined to let love live within us, among us, and through us. Take it with you, full and abundant, sharing it generously wherever you go. May it be so, and amen. And I invite you to sing with us, "There is more love somewhere."